Hey everybody, welcome to Your Unpaid Therapist.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Your Unpaid Therapist.
I'm not getting paid. I didn't even get a donut.
Oh, that's sexy though. I like it.
I'm Valery Milagros Ortiz.
I don't know.
I am your host, Alikona. She's away. Bradford.
This is Your Unpaid Therapist. Shoo-wah, cha-cha.
Hey. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Your Unpaid Therapist. This is season 2, and we have a great episode for you today. Yeah, that's right. Because we are going to talk about self-care versus self-love. It's a very fine line, one that I was not aware of, but recently became alerted about, and was like, okay, we have to talk about this. But first, before we ever get into it, we have to start with our song of the week. If you're new to us,
do it.
No. I'm explaining, so that way you have to go first. Okay.
Explain it away.
This is me getting Valerie to have to go first, okay? Which reminds me, I didn't say my name, but if you don't know me, I'm Alikona Bradford. Of course, that's the lovely and beautiful Valery Ortiz. And the explanation is just basically we're describing our week in song version. So now Val has to go first. Yay, go.
Okay. So let me get to it. Let me find my lyrics. So this is a song that I kind of recently heard. Let me find it. So again, I feel like I keep using songs that people
Brand new?
Yeah, kind of. Let me make sure it doesn't play. I don't know if people have heard it. It's not like new, but anyway. Oh shoot. Okay. So okay. Okay. I forgot how it goes, but I'm just gonna kind of say it.
Do it.
I need somebody who can love me at my worst. No, I'm not perfect, but I hope you see my worth. 'Cause it's only you, nobody knew I put you first. And for you, I'm gonna say, boy, I swear I do the worst. Anyway, so I messed that up a little bit. The song is called At My Worst by Pink Sweat and Kehlani. I chose that song. I look it up if you've never heard it. It's really, really beautiful. Because of the topic of the episode, because where my headspace has been, a couple things. I got an injury. I bruised my ribs in like a really stupid way, so I wasn't able to get it in the way I normally do, in the gym and with my runs. And then I did this, which is going to go right in line with our topic. I did a microneedling treatment. I've done this thing called Clear and Brilliant. Yeah, and I did this microneedling thing. And the girl warned me, but apparently your skin kind of purges after. And I wasn't ready. And like also I was on my period, and I broke out like crazy, like the cystic ones that kind of hurt. And so I was just I was like, I'm all like, like not being able to sleep on my side. I was like, my skin's all breaking out. Like I just felt at my worst. So that's why I chose that song.
Okay. So my song is a well-known song.
Yes,
and I don't
good.
have lyrics put up. So if I sing some of the lines out of order, don't come for me. You get the point.
Yes.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I got that sunshine in my pocket. Got that na 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 na. Got that ooh. 'Cause under the lights when everything goes, there's nowhere to go. Just imagine. Nothing I can see but you when you dance. Something, dancing.
I love it. I love that song. That's a good one.
Dude, so terrible. How was that my high school husband and I can't get his lyrics correct?
I was like, wait, what?
He was my high school husband.
Got it.
Not anymore. Unfortunately, Justin.
Yeah, I'm not feeling him these days.
Yeah.
But let's explain this song while I put on this new lipstick.
You know, there's just a lot going on, good stuff. And so yesterday I was actually thinking about it because I was putting thought into my songs. And I was like, I feel good. Like there's a lot of good possibilities happening. There's a lot of current things that are happening that I'm like, it feels like I have sunshine in my pocket, you know? And it just makes me like, so yeah.
Okay,
that's what I think.
good. So
yeah.
I I kind of hear my echo. Hello, hello.
I don't hear it.
Okay, well,
I don't hear it.
okay, good. I was hearing echo. Hopefully it doesn't like grab anything. Okay.
Are you still echoing?
Yeah.
I don't hear anything. Oh.
Yeah, like I hear a delay and I could hear myself. That's so strange.
So what we're gonna do right now, I can speak English. What we're gonna do right now is we're gonna take a brief pause, and we'll come right back. All right, and we are back. All right. So picking up our conversation, which I don't know where we were. So go ahead, Val. I'm gonna put the pressure
So we had
on
just
you.
done our songs, and we're going to
Okay.
talk about today's episode is about the difference between self-love versus self-care,
Yes.
which is so important because it bleeds into so many different parts of our lives. This was a topic that Alikona kind of brought up, but I feel like it's relatable and resonates with, I think, a lot of us.
Yeah.
Why did you think that was important to kind of bring up?
Because especially as women, we're often taught like self-care, girl, self-care, and they're like self-love, love yourself, and we mix up the two. So a lot of times when we think of self-love, it's like taking ourselves to go get that massage or getting that little extra dessert or splurging and buying that extra outfit, or you know what I mean? And you're like, oh, that's a self-care. Like I'm taking care of myself because I'm treating myself. And it's like that's actually not self-care.
Mhm.
Which I learned from one of my Mind Valley classes from a therapist. And she was saying that self care is important, you know, and doing all those things. But self love is how you show up in the world for yourself, whether it's in a relationship with a partner or with your parents, with colleagues, whatever. Because a lot of times, us as women, we're people pleasers. Like we're brought up to put our needs second and make sure everybody else is okay. So if you really want to love yourself, it is having those boundaries and being able to be like, no, that doesn't make me feel comfortable, or
Yeah.
you know, or just showing up or how you talk to yourself is the most important thing, you know. And it is that internal like my thighs look fat today, or nobody would love me because I'm X, Y, and Z, and I'm unlovable. And those are all little bits of like the actual love part of loving thyself. Because if you can't love yourself, and now we all have heard, you know, then who's going to love you? But it's true. Like you can't look to a partner and put the pressure on them to love you so you can love yourself and feel lovable. And she was saying the goal should never be to get a lover, it's to be a lover.
I love that. I was looking up some stuff on that as well, and I came on this article and I loved it. So, self love centers on accepting both our lovable and unlovable parts. It is intimacy with our truths, gentleness with our faults, honesty for our yearnings, and appreciation for what makes us special. Self
Mm.
care is about fixing what is out of alignment in our lives. Self love, however, is the deep knowing that at our core, there's nothing that needs fixing. I love that. I think it explained it really, really well because, yeah, we hear about the self care stuff all the time, and without true self love, I personally believe that you can do all the self care in the world, but it ain't gonna work for all the thoughts and the things that are coming out of your head or that you're telling yourself when you look in the mirror. Um, it's just completely different.
So I want to ask you, Val, what is one
Mhm.
thing in relation to self-love? What is one thing that in the past maybe that you picked on yourself for? And hold on, how did
Yeah.
you recognize it and what did you start doing differently to try and combat that?
Um, man, there's a lot of things. I think for me, it's a constant quest to feel comfortable in my body, for many different reasons, and many, not just like, you know, my thighs or my feet. I don't know. Um, and I think it's still work in progress. Like I don't think I have learned what it is that I need to do, if I'm being absolutely honest. I think about what Yale said in one of our last episodes of this season, which was really awesome. I remember she was trying to tell you to go to get the mail in a sports bra. And I was like, well, if Alikona has to get the male in a sports bra, I have to get the male in some booty shorts. So that's kind of like, I haven't forgotten that. And I hope people who listen to that episode, things resonated with them as they did with me and Alikona, because it was a fun episode. And what I love about somebody like Yale is she has a lot of self-love.
Mhm.
And it's interesting because, and I want to ask you this, because we have like and I think we talked about this in that episode, but we have, there's this movement where the people who show all the self-love, outward self-love, on things like social media, like, to me, some of it, and I've had this conversation with my boyfriend all the time, because I personally, I don't like men who are super like, yeah, I'm the shit, like that, like who
Mhm.
who walk with this
Arrogance.
this right, with this confidence, like. And the thing is, I'm attracted to confidence. I'm not attracted to somebody who's just like throwing it out there or who talks about it. And this is exactly what I always say. I said, I like a quiet confidence.
Mhm.
And he's like, and it's so interesting because he's like, but when it comes to women, if a woman's like, yeah, I'm all that, da 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 da, or even if she's like bigger or whatever, especially now in this like Lizzo era, most people are like, that's right, girl, like, get it, live your truth, whatever. Now, if it's a man, he's like, would I feel the same way? And I was like, here's the thing. It doesn't change for me whether it's male or female. Even if it's a female walking around like, yeah, I'm the shit, like that's all she can say. And she
Mhm.
has to like boast it all the time.
That's not real.
Personally, it's just, it's not wrong.
Mhm.
I don't like that quality.
Right.
I'm not attracted to it. I'm kind of like, eek,
Right.
that's kind of icky to me.
Mhm.
So it doesn't matter. So it's just an interesting fine line with being confident and then being boastful. I don't know.
Mhm.
Um, all that to say, when it comes to self love, I'm working on it every day. What about you?
So I'm gonna pick something different because I have similar physical body issues.
Sure.
But to change it up, something that I have recently, the light bulb went off when I was doing all this like homework, if you will. Um, Realizing that I'm worthy of people's time and their
Mm,
attention, because the part of the homework assignment, and this was all entailing like self-love and showing up and expecting things from people. I don't expect people's time and attention. I grew up feeling like a burden oftentimes. So
mm,
I'm always concerned about being a burden. But my needs should never be a burden to anyone because it's just a need and it's never anything extravagant like I only eat green non-dairy M&Ms and if those are not in my bedroom. You know what I mean? Like there's
right.
but it dawned on me when I was thinking about patterns and certain things. With the attention thing. So my parents didn't really intend anything that I did, sports, theater, whatever, cheerleading.
Mm.
Cheerleading could be a sport. It is. But like my dad used to always sit at the TV all the time. Like he was a drinker, he was watching the stock market, whatever. And so it's like he never showed up to anything, but I was okay with that because if he did, I risk having someone being very embarrassing out in public. But now as I'm an adult, I've realized like I don't expect people to attend anything of mine. I don't,
Mm.
I don't invite people to stuff to watch, and
Mhm.
then I was like, but where does that stem from? And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
because I'm just used to not having attention, but I need attention. I'm a human and I do inwardly want someone to care about stuff that I do and congratulate me about those things. So I shouldn't let people off the hook because I've also been in relationships with people when they're like, "Oh, I'm busy." Or not relationships, but like dating people where I might
Sure.
casually in A, invite them to an event, B, make the event seem very nonchalant and very casual. So that way I don't get disappointed when they're busy. And sure enough, they would be busy and they couldn't come. And I'd be like, well, it's fine. It's not a big deal. Anyway, but
Mhm.
so much of that is in energy and intent and da da da. So of course nobody's gonna be in my life that wants to show up and give me attention. So until I
Sure.
can, yeah, you know what I mean? Like heal, mend that and learn to love myself enough to know that I am worthy enough or I am talented enough that people should be excited, then I won't find those people for me. With the exception of you and Matt, of course.
No, it's that's such an interesting thing, and I love that you brought that up because um that is there is so many different components to self-love, and in where it all started, how we align with it, or how we see it now as an adult, or how we engage with it. It's all I don't know. I think about that whole confidence versus arrogance thing, and at the end of the day, obviously, I prefer to see somebody who is happy in their truth, or confident in their truth. The thing is, depending on how it comes across, a lot of times I think it's a cry for attention, and it's a cry for look at me. I'm happy, like look at me. I know I'm amazing. And I don't, and I'm talking about very specific situations, and I think it comes from an insecurity. I think somebody who is truly confident doesn't have to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, like
Okay.
I just think you are, and you don't have to say it. Like you just oh my gosh, I'm gonna find this, um and well, you can
I'm gonna tell a story, and you can look for it if you want.
yeah, tell a
Okay.
story, because this is gonna be great. Like this quote that I remember hearing, and I was like, fuck yes. And now that I thought about it, I was like, this is exactly with the point that I'm trying to
Okay.
make.
So then I'll tell a story about a version of self love is standing up for yourself and then being okay with the decision when people don't abide by you holding your standards. So I had a conversation with somebody
Mm-hmm.
out for not being a present friend in the relationship. And that person's response was very victimy. And I realized, and older meaning past me, would not have recognized it. But I was like, this is such a toxic response. Oh my God. Their response to me was, I almost didn't respond to you and didn't want to because I don't appreciate you guilting me. I already have two exes that do that already, and you know that.
Mm.
So blah 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 blah. And I was like, hold on. You just got mad at me for saying, hey, it's been a few days and you didn't respond to my last two messages. Are you okay? Are you ghosting me? That's all I said. And
Yeah.
it was such a strong response. I was like, whoa, first of all, that's toxic. Second of all,
Yes.
older me, younger me, whatever, would have been like, oh my God, what did I do? I upset this person. Oh my God, was I guilt tripping? Was I doing this? Was I? And I'm like, no, 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 wait, hold on. You were standing up for yourself. You were saying, this is what I need from you as my
Mm-hmm.
friend in this relationship. And you blatantly just told me you can't give me that. So instead of trying to fix a wheel that won't be fixed, or whatever, hamster wheel, whatever, instead of keep doing the same shit with the same person, I need to love myself enough to see the sign and be okay and walk away from it versus still trying to like help and mend the relationship.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, even with a reaction like that, taking no accountability, it's is that gaslighting? I feel like that word is used all the time now, and I
Mhm.
don't even know what it means really. But that's what it sounds like. That's what that is. I found the quote, and it was a Denzel quote, and he says, "You'll never be criticized by someone who is doing more than you. You'll always be criticized by someone doing less.
Mm.
Remember that." I'll never forget the first time I heard that. I remember where I was in my life. And I've always, I think more when I was an adult and kind of my LA life, but I've been into fitness and I love all the challenges, blah, blah, blah. There's two people in my life who were overweight, who said I was doing the most. And that was a quote, when it came to like a class that I was going to go to or something, and like, oh, you're doing the most, da 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 da. And I remember being like, oh, am I? Like, I don't know. And then it really got in my head because it was people that I cared about and that I really loved, and I thought it was coming from a place of, oh, maybe they think I'm like getting obsessed or something. I don't know. Like, I really went inward and was just like, am I don't know, but it's just, I'm not hurting anybody. Like, I'm obviously eating healthy. Like, I love food. It wasn't like I wasn't, anyway. Then I kept doing what I was doing, but keeping that in the back of my head. And then later on in life, years later, those people were trying to lose weight. And I remember thinking, I came across this quote and I thought about what they had said to me and comments that they had made when it came to me and my workouts and how I liked going to the gym. And I was like, I was like, that was them criticizing me because they weren't doing what I was doing or more than what I was doing. They
Mhm.
just couldn't, and they didn't have the discipline that I had. So that
Mhm.
was their way of trying to bring me down. So um I find the same I have the same thought when it comes to arrogance and confidence. When somebody is it and they're doing the damn thing, they're not talking about it
Right.
usually. And the times that I've heard people talk about it, it's usually like a clap back at like somebody trying to bring them down. And that I kind of understand. That's why I'm saying it's really situational. So
Mhm.
I don't want nobody to at me or whatever. But for the most part, that's really how I feel about it. I was just like, when you're doing the fucking damn thing, like you let your actions speak. You let all of it speak for itself. You don't got to talk about it.
Well, here's the thing, right? A few things. One, when you're a woman, when you're confident, when you're productive, when you're successful, that can be very threatening for people, whether it's other
Totally.
women or especially other men. And we have to, not to like stereotype, but for the most part, have to work harder to accomplish the same things. And
Mm.
so our work ethic can be threatening to other people in a way that it makes them feel guilty. Because I've had that too. I have a very productive mindset and I've been around people be like, slow down. You need to take a break or you're doing or relax. And it's like, no, but I'm in the middle of a project. And then I realize, oh, but you're not tending to your own projects. So you just want somebody to
Mm.
slack off with you so you don't feel bad about your slacking. And that's not being a good friend, a good partner, or a good sibling, or whatever the case may be.
Sure.
So again, with the whole love thing, just knowing you're on the right track and you're doing the right thing and not letting other people steer you off your path because they're unhappy, guilty, or whatever the case may be. And, keep doing your thing.
Yeah, and it's knowing that. It's knowing those boundaries. It's knowing the things that are important to you. Because there's always things that compromise, right? Especially in like relationships. There's certain things that it's just like, okay, at minimum, these are the things that Valerie or Alikona need to be happy on a day to day,
Mhm.
and sometimes those things are going to shift because of certain jobs or relationship things. But like you can't steer too far away from those things that make you happy at minimum, because then eventually you're going to start resenting other people for things that was in your control, and we've talked, I think, about this in the past where I remember being in a relationship, and I was super young, but I was really excited to watch something on like Oprah or something. And the person I was with at the time had suggested last minute, you know, oh, like let's go do this thing. And I just wanted to hang out with them. So I was like, oh, okay. And it's really dumb, but I remember there was a point in the relationship where became this pattern of last minute things coming up and me not doing something that I had wanted to do, as simple as watching a show. And this was pre times where you could record stuff. Um, and then it kind of clicked, like, oh, like I'm not keeping firm on my boundaries and I'm resenting this person, but it's not on them, it's on me because I'm allowing this to occur. So um
But we're not taught
now,
boundaries. Like as women, we're
right.
really not taught boundaries. And I actually, in doing some of my quote unquote homework, one of the questions was, what boundaries did your parents respect and what did they violate? And I was like, oh my God. You don't think of your
Mm,
children's boundaries because you don't think of them as an adult human. You think of them as a child that you're molding and creating into something for the world. So it's like my way or the highway, and not respecting necessarily what your kid is passionate about or what they want or what da da da, and your boundaries are violated all over the place, especially
yeah.
again, yeah, as a young lady. So anyway, but I wanted to say, and I think I sent this to you on Instagram. It was a post of a guy who was doing a podcast, and he said most men will not go for a healed woman. And the reason is
Mm.
because they have to work a lot harder, because an unhealed
Yes.
woman
Okay, I
is,
remember that.
yeah, easily impressed by little things like pulling out the chair and opening the car door and,
Yes.
getting dinner. And they're like, oh, he's such a good man. And he's like, but that's doing the absolute minimum.
Minimum.
Yes, and the bar is so low now. He's like a good man, a healed woman wouldn't be impressed, because a healed woman would expect like clear communication, clear, boundaries, and this and that and the third. And I was like, well, shit, I'm guilty.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no, I not as a an adult, but like yeah, in my 20s, super 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 guilty. Now, God bless the men I've dated and David. But yeah, like now, like even before David, I was dating somebody who, I tried to express these boundaries or these expectations that I had, and great person just wasn't meeting it. And after a certain time, I'm just like, I'm not trying to teach you like the ins and outs of every little thing I expect, want, whatever. Like at that point, it's just like good person. We just do not naturally give what the other needs, and that's okay.
mm-hmm,
Like, and you should understand that and be able to see that and walk the f away, because you
mm-hmm,
cannot change people. And again, that goes back to self-love, with knowing what are the things that are essential to keep you happy, and that's different for everybody.
right. And being okay with being alone. Because if that person is not providing for you the things that you need and not meeting your standards, not respecting your boundaries, not going above and beyond, which you should be doing the
Mhm.
same too. Don't get me wrong. But being okay with walking away and being like, I am all I need. And I'm in that place in my life where, and I've told you in the past, and I've talked about in the podcast, like, I'm a good date. I took myself to a movie and I had a great time. And it's like, at this point in my life, I'm like, what can you do for me that I can't do for
Say
myself? What can
say it
you
again.
what can you do for me that I can't do for myself?
Mm, mm,
And
mm.
and
Yes.
that's when you have the people that you then expect to step up more, because I I can take you. I'll take you to the here and there. Well, I can take myself. I got a car. Like, what else? Like, can you provide
Mhm.
companionship for me? Can you provide, again, clear communication? Or I can support myself emotionally, but it's still nice to be. Can I share things with you? Can you step up to my level? Can you? La 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 la.
Yeah, and I think I've shared this before, but even when I was doing the dating apps and stuff, like I remember a friend of a friend, because none of my friends would have ever said this to me. But a friend of a friend was like, "Girl, whatever, just like um get a free dinner." And I was like,
Yeah.
No. I was like, I don't need anybody buying me dinner. I was like, I value my time so much.
Mhm.
And now in this adult era, I actually really love my alone time. And I'm very happy alone, which might be a little bit of a problem now, because I actually really do crave alone time.
Yeah.
Um and
Which is
value
healthy.
it. So yes, and I was like, I don't need anybody to buy me dinner. Like, ew, no, thank you. Like, I'd rather be in my house eating my own whatever that I decided to eat that day in my own quiet, beautiful space,
Uh-huh.
in my own quiet, beautiful company.
Yeah.
I
So
don't need.
I would say, well, I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, no, it's good.
We've talked a lot about self-love. What is something self-care wise that is like your favorite thing to do, your splurge, your go-to, like, this is like when I really am having a day and I want to give myself a gift of something. What is your favorite thing to gift yourself?
Oh my gosh. Unpopular opinion, but a good workout. Like, I know that is my favorite self-care. Like, if I can just have a minimum of an hour of doing some kind of physical activity, that is my favorite self-care. Obviously, like, I love massages. I just don't do them often. I
And
should. We talked about that,
yes, I would
but
say, and to clarify, because I had told Val this in a text too, and I'm still haven't gotten my life together in this area. But I had the epiphany of, when you're really physical and you are doing a lot of workouts, or if you have a job that's really strenuous or you sit all day, you need massages. That is a physical maintenance, just like you maintain your car so it continues to drive down the street. But we
Mhm.
are, again, conditioned to think that that's a treat. That's what you do when you have extra money or da, da, da. And it's like, well, no, but I mean, it's actually a preventative. It circulates your
It
blood. It
is.
does so many, you know what I mean? And so it's like being better about that and allotting a little, even if it's like $20 a week or $10 a week or whatever you can afford, putting it to the side in your little safekeepings and remembering like at least once a month go
Yeah.
maintain, get those oil changed if you will.
It's
And
true. I
yeah.
need to be 100% better at that. David's really good at that with like the icing and the saunas and the hot tubs and shit. I
Mhm.
just, for me, I'm like, I rather still be working out. I don't want to be in a hot tub.
Got it. So
But for the longevity of our life and this lifestyle, it's definitely something I need to do more of. What's your
yeah.
favorite self care?
So I have a few because I mean I love a good sauna. I love sweating the hell out of just toxins and stuff. But for me, it's taking a moment to to like have a dessert and watch a movie that's like funny and feel good. And
Mm-hmm.
it just makes me happy. And I don't do that often because I'm just doing other things.
Mm-hmm.
So that is like that and my
The
nighttime
favorite.
walks are my self care.
Yeah, I
So
love it. I love
um
it.
we're
I know we
cutting
have to.
short on time because I have to go, unfortunately. So I want to make
Right,
sure we
but I
get
did.
into our what ifs. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
let
but
you.
before,
Yeah.
I wanted to say this because I found this in that article as well. So when it comes to self love and all that stuff, like take some space to ask yourself, who am I as my fullest, most whole self? How can I better love myself, not only despite my choices and mistakes, but because of them?
Mm,
How can I show up for myself with the love the way I show up for others? How can I show up for myself with love the way I show up for others? And what tenderness and care can I extend to myself today? So, something for you guys to think about. And my what if, I mean, this is just simple. Like, what if I looked in the mirror once and not had a negative thing to say?
that's an awesome what if. My what if is what if you stop caring about how your no might affect somebody else and put whatever it is that you desire ahead of what they need? Meaning, people ask me for favors or da, da, and I'm like, yeah, sure, but do I really want to do that thing? It's a lot of driving, or is it? No,
Mm-hmm.
it's okay if you
Yeah,
say no. So
I
anyways,
love it.
that's my what if. I have to jet, but I had so much fun talking about this stuff with you and diving in, and I hope that you guys at home did. And be sure to check out our Patreon. And that's about it. Val,
Yes.
any final words of wisdom or what have
Yeah,
you?
just keep working on that self-love. It's obviously a work in progress for all of us every day, but you're worth it. Thank you for loving us and loving our podcast and supporting us. We appreciate you. Until next time. Mwah.
We love you. Goodbye.